And hello again. This is Delta Flight 1231, Minneapolis to Bozman, climbing to 36,000. We have been cleared, and our flight plan has been cleared so far with the Minneapolis Center that's online, that I'll be talking to periodically. You will not be able to hear that side of the conversation, but maybe on future flights I will have it programmed so that you'll be able to hear it through the speakers. But for now, I only hear him through the headsets. So we've got about 6 minutes, about 6 or 7 minutes before we push back. So I'll be back in a minute, get me a new cup of coffee, and then we should be shortly after that ready to roll. And also, for what it's worth, I've swapped out my panels a little bit. You'll notice that the panel that's located down here now is the multi-panel, which controls all of the autopilot functions. And the switch panel that was here is now up here, where it controls all the switches on the aircraft, such as beacon, nav lights, strobe, taxi and landing lights, fuel pump, the alternator, generator, the de-ice, and the pitot heat. Also, as well as the start function for the engines. It has the gear lever here to retract and extend the gear. So I've swapped these two, mainly because this will be a little easier for you to see. And looking at some of the settings that I'm using, you'll notice it's set here. We've been cleared to our first altitude of 7,000 feet. We'll be climbing off at 1,500 feet. Airspeed when we take off will be 250, and our heading will be 121 degrees. And then we'll be getting heading assignments from center once we take off. So that's where we're at this point, and we should be ready to roll back here as soon as my coffee gets done warming up. And so this will give you a little better idea of how. And this one over here, of course, has always been here. This is the radio panel. It has all my radio frequencies on it, my nav frequencies for my various VOR points, and so forth. This is what creates the beeping sound for the nav points as we go through the flight. So I did move this down to give you a better idea of how this SciTech multi-panel works. And it does have an auto throttle control. It does have a flaps control here. However, I have my flaps control over here on the throttle box, which I'm pointing to now. And also these are the speed brakes, and then this is the throttle control with reverse thrust all the way down. Right now you'll notice the flaps button is lower than the rest. That's because that's also the parking brake function that I programmed into it. Then there are 6 buttons below here that do various things. This is the start and stop on the APU. These are nav 2 and nav 1. It turns on the beacons. This is the engine stop here. And so those are some of the things that I programmed into the various buttons on the SciTech panels to assist in making the aircraft fly. And did not set the altimeter yet. The altimeter is 2969, I think it says. Yes, 2969, so our altimeter is set now for takeoff, and I'll get my cup of coffee, and we should be about ready to push back. And in the process of this flight, the Minneapolis Center has cleared me to push back and start engines. And then once I'm ready to taxi, I'll notify him that I'm ready, and he will give me taxi clearance from that point. So at this point, I guess what we want to do is probably start the engines up and get ready to go. And we got everything running now. Get them back. Fuel pump is on. The generators are on. The APU is off. And everything else, it looks like we're ready to set and go. So we're going to push back here. I use pushback to here because I've got some issues with some pushback controls. So I'm using the aircraft reverse thrust for pushback. Almost turned the wrong way in there. And this will use the 3D panel, and we'll notify that we are ready to taxi. Minneapolis Center, Delta 1231, ready to taxi, runway 12 left. Roger, 2969 altimeter, cleared to taxi on Papa, cross 22 for Delta 1231. Okay, we've been cleared to taxi on taxiway Papa, which is what I'm taxiing directly to now. And if you'll notice, there's an airplane landing on 12 left right now. It will be landing and clearing before we take off, so we will be in a big hurry. Got to push the autopilot button. Get the autopilot on. We're going to check and make sure it's on the right setting. And so we'll be ready to go once we're clear. That looks like 763. I'm not sure what company it is, but that's it. You can see the airplane landing to our right. Minneapolis Center just indicated he's closing his operations in 10 minutes, so we'll get him for the takeoff, and then a little after that he'll probably be shutting down, and we'll be flying on Unicom frequencies from there on. We'll pull up short of the runway here and wait for clearance and to taxi onto the runway and then forward takeoff. So we're going to wait right here for now. Let's see if he's still on the runway. Well, I don't see him, but we'll be getting clearance momentarily. And And he just announced he's vacating Papa 2, so we should get clearance here momentarily. Delta 1231 holding short 12 left. Line up and wait, Roger. 12 for 31. We've got a command here because he's not clear of the runway yet. Roger, fly heading 090 on departure and got the winds, and we'll be rolling momentarily. So he wants us to fly a heading of 090, which I'm going to correct now, so when we take off, we'll fly that heading. And we should be ready to roll in a minute here. Let's see what's going on. We'll go to the auto throttle, arm the engines, and away we go. The engines are starting to spool up now. And we're about ready. Okay, brakes are released, and we're starting to roll. Knots, we should be about ready to take off. We're going to fly the runway heading until we get over, and then we will turn to the heading we designated. Center. Center Delta 1231 passing through 1,700, heading 90 degrees. On up to 360, Roger. Now he's given us clearance to 360, so as soon as he clears me to another waypoint, I will go ahead and set everything to get us to that altitude. Reducing the flaps now. The climb rate is came down a little bit, but we're continuing back up to 1,500 feet a minute now, which is what I designated. And I'm going to turn off the recording now. We've been on the recording about almost 14 minutes. So if I get too long, then the direct Aberdeen, Roger, 1231. Well, we've been cleared now direct to Aberdeen. So I'm going to go ahead and set the autopilot to direct to that waypoint. Now we're going to go direct to Aberdeen, and he's given us our $36,000 we've been cleared to. I'm going to take off the auto climb, and I'm going to go ahead and input the rate of climb myself, which is going to be 1,500 feet. And we should be on our way to Aberdeen direct. We're skipping about 3 waypoints in order to do this, but since he's cleared us to do that, we can go direct to that waypoint of Aberdeen. So why aren't we doing that? Let's see what's wrong. Oh, here we go. Now we'll be turning to Aberdeen and be going direct as well. So let's see what we can do here about getting this set up again. And we're setting up direct to Aberdeen, and I'm going to cut the recording now, and we'll keep the live stream going, but I'm going to go ahead and cut off the recorded portion, and we'll talk to you on our arrival into Bozman, which should be interesting. And for the recording, we're just getting it started. Almost forgot to start it. That looks like Bozman ahead of us. We're descending to 7,300 feet. I'm going to go outside view and make sure the landing gear comes down. So give me a second here to see what we're doing. We're turning inbound now. We got some flaps out. And we're going to put down the landing gear. Right here. Landing gear should be coming down. Looks like we got a good shot on wheels here, so that's a good sign. And back to the cabin. Don't see the airport yet, but as soon as I do, we'll be coming down. I'm going to reduce my speed now again to 180 knots. Get a little more flap in the business here. And we should be seeing the airport pretty soon, I think. In fact, it looks like there's a radio tower out there. Don't quite see the airport yet, but I think we will pretty soon. Dropping down to 5,007. There's the airport. I see it now. Just hard for you to see, probably. We're crossing over Chestnut, I think, maybe the town. But I do see the airport ahead of us. The winds are kind of squirrely, as you can see. The airport, I now see what's ahead of us. We're at 1,000 feet. I'm going to slow us down again. 150 knots. And I will probably turn off the auto throttle, and I will start controlling the speed right now on my own. You should be seeing the runway coming in front of us now. Airport elevation is 4,473 feet. We are at 5,400 now. Runway is much clearer than it was. That's I-90 down to our left front. And another highway that goes northwest out of Bozman. There's a balloon right in front of us. That's not helping us see the runway at all. Going to be reducing now to, whoa, are we going too fast? 500, we turn off the autopilot, and now we're on our own. Oh, we're going to miss the balloon. How about that, huh? And we're at 4,900. 155 knots. We're doing okay on the speed.
300. 200.
146 knots. We look like we're right on the window here.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
And the reverse thrust is on. I'm going to take the next taxiway back to the terminal. Let the world know we're taxiing to the gate. And you'll see the terminal here shortly in front of us as we make this turn. We're parking at gate 5. Getting the flaps back down. And I'm guessing the gate 5 will be probably the 5th gate, which is the one that will be just about straight in front of us when we turn on this next taxi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. Yeah, just about right in front of us. Be this one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one right there in the middle of the screen now, just right now in the middle of the screen. That's where we're going to be parking. One, 2, 3, 4. Gate 5 is right as we go here. And the parking brakes are on. Kill the engines. And look at the time. I'm plotting those right now on another screen, which helps me calculate some of the statistics for the flight. Include our fuel. Let's see, what do we got? That's the fuel here. 47.57. Oops. So we burned 10,455 pounds of fuel for the flight. And we traveled a total of 780 miles. Oh, 770 miles. So I'm going to shut everything off now and do some final calculations on the flight. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'm going to make one more announcement here. And then we're going to go offline. And then we're going to go offline now. As far as the internet goes, we can disconnect. And we're going to stop the stream here. Let's see if I can get to it. Let's see, over here. We will stop the recording first.